microdose, yeah. Microdose, 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 dose. Microdose, microdose, dose. Microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Kush And Kai HERE coming to you, episode 88 of the Microdose. 88 is the number you'll see when the digital clock resets itself on your old Swatch watch and or Casio components. But we're not starting anything over. We're starting things off with BarelyFunctionalGamers making their return. David, Chris, how you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Good,
man. Thanks for coming out, guys. It's spooky season time. Halloween right around the corner here. You guys are actually doing on your Twitch channel at BarelyFunctionalGamers. You're doing a scarier isolation event than normal. You guys got anything you want to tell us about that, or you can tease?
The end is nigh.
Oh no.
Now I will. Usually I'll look up horror games like right before, like the week before the show, so that I get some more like latest stuff. And I think I'll just be in costume. I'm gonna be in costume. You know, I'm trying. I know we're trying some new stuff on the show in order to scare our guests as they play games.
Okay.
And the stuff we tried so far has been pretty successful. We have like sound effects that will play only in the headphones of the person playing. I'm trying some other things with like lights and some other stuff to like scare them. But I'll keep a lot of that a surprise.
Including some of the new
stuff. Are you
stuff.
gonna like do some strobe effects that might affect some epileptic folks? So
right. And if they have a problem with it, then I won't do that one.
Okay,
I was gonna say it's a Halloween thing. You know, if nobody's going to the hospital on Halloween, you're not at a good party.
Guys, speaking of spooky games, like I said, Halloween's right around the corner. Any spooky games coming up? Any spooky games that you would like to just recommend in general? What's your favorite? No wrong answer, no wrong order. Chris, you want to start us off?
One of them that I've been looking into is called Martha is Dead. It's a first-person psychological horror game that I've been looking at. It's set in 1944, like around World War II, in Italy. And the trailer that I've seen so far for it, since it's not out yet, has been amazing. And they use like puppets and old-fashioned toys and stuff like that to give you the fright that you're wanting. And the mother is telling a story to the daughter at this whole point. Developer is LKA, which I have no idea who they are. They're an indie group working on this. So, it looks good. It seems kind of terrifying in the fact that, there's spirits and you're trying to, I'm guessing you're trying to solve the situation with Martha. I'm not sure, honestly, but it looked good.
Is that going to be on Steam? Is that just for PCs? Where would one find that?
You can get it on, they say PC, Steam. So it'd be on Steam for PC. You got Xbox and the PS3, PS4 and PS5.
Okay. Well, what's that going to run somebody? About $20?
Actually, they don't have a price for it at the moment.
Oh, that's suspicious. But
well, it's coming out soon. On Steam right now, you can get the demo.
Okay. I've never played Steam. What exactly is Steam? I understand the cloud's involved. I've seen just a controller, but is there more to it than that? Who makes it? Who makes Steam?
Valve.
Okay. What do I know Valve from?
Same people who did
Half-Life 2.
Thank you. Half-Life 2.
Okay. I'm way out of it because I still don't know it. I'm not even sure what Half-Life 1 is, but all right. That's fair.
But Steam is just a platform where you can buy and play your games from. So in itself, it's just like a really robust like library where you keep all your games. And since it's all digital, no matter if you change computers or you're on someone else's computer or whatever it is, you log in, you have access to all your games. You just got to download them.
Okay. And can you find like anything from the old Nintendo days, or is it just?
Oh yeah,
it just depends on who's selling.
Yes,
really,
exactly.
So like the old Nintendo stuff, not so much. But there's a lot of great indie developers that will publish to Steam. Steam did have like a really good like green light program, where it's just really, really helpful for indie developers. Just put everything and anything out. So it's a massive library on Steam.
Yeah, sorry.
David, you got anything you're excited about coming up that has not been released yet?
I can't say that I'm like super excited about anything that I'm waiting for. But I know
there's something you missed that did come out. You're like, I wish I got that, but that was like 2 months ago.
Not really. Like when it comes to horror games, I tend to like a lot of the indie stuff a lot more. And one of my favorites to put on the show is stuff by Puppet Combo. And I know, like we had a really good one last week. It's called Blood Wash, and it's like PS1 style horror game, but it's like very much in the style of like a B horror movie. And a lot of stuff that Puppet Combo does funds tends to be that style.
Sounds like the old Resident Evil game, the original Resident Evil game.
They have a lot of stuff that's like that as well, but a lot of them are very much like, like Resident Evil, you're like a cop, you have guns, you're fighting zombies. And some of these games are more along the lines of you're just playing like this person in their life, but they're like in I guess like a scary situation, which much like, like the main character of a B horror movie, they might not be doing anything special, but things, take a turn for the worse. A lot of games like that. I subscribe to their Patreon, which is nice because they do put a lot of alpha versions out there. So like early access versions of the games and stuff, because they do release to Steam. You can also buy it from their website as well, which is just Puppet Combo. But I like having early access to all those games and just kind of like seeing them come along.
I was reminded about Ghosts and Goblins, and then it had a sequel, Ghosts and Ghouls. Were you guys familiar with either of those back in the day?
Yeah, those are hard. Those are hard games. And they're old school, man. It's just like you die, there's no continues, but and then if you beat the game, it just starts over again.
What is it about the old school games that are so much harder than just the new stuff? Like it feels like a lot of the new stuff is just, I'm watching a movie that I can sometimes participate in, at least those big top shelf games.
Right. I mean, old school games, they require a lot more like precision control,
timing,
right?
Yeah,
a lot of timing. And I mean, considering what they were working with, I mean, that's kind of what you had to focus on. You didn't have spectacular graphics, you didn't have like physics, you didn't have a lot of stuff, so it was really just focused on, okay, how can we and the games weren't very long either. It's like, how can we make the player get the most out of the game? It's like, make it really hard so it takes them a long time to finish the game.
Also, we didn't have the internet to tell us how to do a part that we can't figure out.
Right. Yeah, because like, how do you have replay value on like a short game? You make it take a long time, but making it hard.
I remember when the strategy guides would come out, that would be a big deal. Like, Super Mario Brothers 3's got a strategy guide. Oh shit, son.
Yeah.
Let me spend $25 on that right now.
It's like I can use the warp whistle and then use the warp whistle on the warp island and go all the way to the end. What?
Oh my god. I don't even think I knew that one there.
It's like you have to have 2 warp whistles, and yeah.
Did you guys ever play a game called Uninvited? Now, this is one of those point-click games from like the old Macintosh days.
I don't think I did.
The old grayscale Macintosh days, where it was just little black and white dots are creating your art.
No, I hadn't played that.
Yeah, no. I didn't get into PC until TIE Fighter, so it was like 98.
Okay. I had a friend down the street, grew up with, kindergarten, all that good stuff, and his dad worked at Apple. So this guy was always bringing home like the newest computer before it was out on the thing. So like I saw what the 2GS looked like before the thing. Yeah, and like there was a thing back in the day where like you'd invite all the neighbors over and check this out. Like, look, it's got 16 colors, and you're just like, oh no way. Uninvited was one of those games, and again, that was just still basic black and white Macintosh classic. I want to say the company that did it was Mindscape. They also did Deja Vu, which is a very similar game, and then I want to say they're responsible for like the Chess Master series, but I don't even know if they're even around anymore.
God, I have no idea. No idea. I mean, they would be such an old company. I would think they would have gotten bought out by somebody by now.
Mindscape. That's if I'm even getting the right company connected to the game.
That does sound familiar.
It does.
But yeah, Uninvited is you're a criminal of some sorts. You're a very bad person. You're on the run from somebody. It's raining, and your car crashes into a tree, and so you seek shelter in this spooky looking mansion. And it's the whole thing, like you got to find the key to get to the gate, and you got to find the key under the mat to get inside the house. And then, oh, hey, there's a lady down the hallway. You click on her, and then all of a sudden a specter just attacks you. A very loud shriek plays over your two audio channels, and that's the end of the game. You have to figure out how to avoid any specters and et cetera, et cetera. Being 8 and trying to play this game would be a trip, and I've only seen how it ends via a walkthrough. So, yeah, I would check that out. Any games you grew up with that super creepy that you reminisce on?
I was gonna say one that reminds me somewhat of what you were just talking about, but it was VHS. It wasn't a video game. It was cards, and so you have the VHS. You had to put in. I think it was called the Reaper or something like that. But you had to put the VHS in, and then like it was like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, and you go through, and you pull the card, be like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do this. Fast forward to 25 minutes into the video, and then it'll be like, oh, this is the part that you're going through. And I just remember playing that with my uncle, and I can't remember what it was called, but that was one of the things that like. I played it once and never again did my uncle want to play it. I guess it scared him that bad. Because he's only a year older than me, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it scared him. We used to have Clue VHS. And it's the same thing you just described. And it's like Clue, but you got all the cards, you got your little notepads, and then you watch the video, and then something happened, like, scan over to the 25-minute mark and check out this sketch, and then it was like you can go back and watch that scene again for any clues, or you can proceed to the next chapter. We tried to play this one time, and my mom's friend just kept going, I think I need to see that again. And it's like, once, okay, twice, all right, then a third time, but then we surpassed rule of 3 at one point, and I mean, I'm a little kid, but I just ran out of the room at that point. The next day, I just end up watching the entire videotape. Super underwhelming, FYI. There's no ending to it. It's all sketches and skits, and then you still have to like go to the little file folder and find out that it's still just Colonel Mustard in the study with the revolver. Anyway. Damn. VHS games were not very successful, but I want to say I remember seeing a black box with a Spectre on it or a Grim Reaper, and we never got it. But David, you're being quiet. You got any classic childhood memories of a spooky game?
You know what? Like the Genesis was great back in the 90s for that stuff, because everything was like very focused towards like older gamers and like teens, like older teens. And Splatterhouse series was great. Ever played that, Kush?
No, I did not have a Genesis or a TurboGrafx 16, but I always remember seeing the ad in the comic books, and it's like it's a guy with a hockey mask and a chainsaw, and like the graphics are smooth. It looks like a lot of fun, but that's before Mortal Kombat, and that's one of those games that like parents got upset about.
Right, because it was gory. It was super gory, and it was great. Like you just take a baseball bat and you'd hit one of those suckers, and they'd splat against the back wall. Like they had very very detailed gory like deaths and stuff. Split them open, and innards would fall out, and all sorts of stuff. It's like, I guess I didn't find it spooky, but it was very gratifying.
Have you guys been fucking with any of the virtual reality stuff, the Oculus stuff?
neither of us have a VR set. I mean, it's something I'd love to do because one of the biggest things that I'm into is piloting games, and there's a couple of games for that have come out. So sadly, we don't have any, which would be cool because there are some good spooky games on the VR sets.
I ended up picking up one of those VR head shells. You know what I'm talking about? Where you slap your phone in it, and so and you put your phone. But now your neck is trying to support the weight of this headset and the weight of your phone, and so your neck will get sore after about 20 minutes. But something's wrong with the Android copy, and I don't even think it's my phone because I've uninstalled it and reinstalled it a few times. But it's one of those things where this is a visual cue, folks, so you're gonna have to bear with us here. So you'll be watching the goggles, but then all of a sudden the picture on YouTube will just start shifting to the right slightly. So you follow it too, but then it keeps shifting and shifting, and next thing you know, you're doing this shit now. Like your body is 180 degrees the opposite direction, and you're just like, what I got this strain in my lower back now. This is terrible technology. What's happening here? So far that is the extent of my virtual reality experience. I don't know. Seems like cool potential, but the execution still isn't there yet.
Well, for that kind of device, yeah, but like looking at the Oculus or some of the other like full-blown PC systems that are set up, they've got some really good stuff down. What is it? The Vive. One of the guys who used to live upstairs from us, he had the Vive, and we went up there and played on that, and I couldn't feel the weight on my head at all. And it had a full headset, the ears and everything, and you're just playing through it. It was great. I kind of got lost and almost tripped on a few things.
See, that's another thing. Like, what do you do about space? Like, the purpose is to live in this virtual world, but then, I mean, how much is walking a thing in this? Do you need like a treadmill? But what do you guys think? What do you guys know?
They have so for his setup, at least, he had like a ring, or not a ring, but a square space that was outlined by his sensors. That would allow you how far you could go, but also in the game, the controller allows you to aim in a certain direction. You could just push a button and you'll teleport there. That's how you can move throughout the world. But whenever you're fighting, it was more helpful to just move yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot of different control schemes for VR. One of them being like you're talking about, where you just point somewhere and you'll teleport there. And usually it's the game just lets you pick what style you want to play, because you can either use the joystick and actually walk there. You can actually select where you want to go, and your character will automatically walk there, or select it and you just automatically teleport there, like Chris just talked about. And I know I've seen treadmills and stuff like that, like being advertised. So they're definitely being worked on, but we're not quite like to Ready Player One status yet.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You need like no furniture in your apartment for that, or you need like a very spacious suburban manor out in the country where like deers are eating your petunias and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, that's the future. At least I hope so.
That's the future. Have you guys considered about going to one of those VR spots at the mall, like at the Metreon?
I have.
Or is it the Metreon or Bloomingdale's? You know what I'm talking about.
I think it's Bloomingdale's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think last I heard from one of my buddies that went to it said it was like I think it was $50 a person, something like that. I honestly can't remember if it was the price.
For how long?
I think they had it for an hour.
$50 for an hour? Okay.
Yeah, I think
I would try that for an hour. I don't know. Were you guys around ever for QZAR or laser tag?
Yeah.
That's fun, but then you're also like 12 minutes. Come on, man. Like, we need a little bit more than this. So
you can go have some fun playing paintball.
Oh no. I got shot in the face with a paintball once, and like we had the helmet and everything, but this was that 1 in 1 million shot that went through the cage and still smacked me in the forehead. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't feel good either.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, I taste colors now, but whatever.
Are you sure that's not COVID?
It could be also some acid from 1998. I don't know. It's a bunch of different things, guys. It's a bunch of different things. Last time we had you on the show here, Chris, you won the Robin Seto cameo party. That was June 18th, 2021. Unfortunately, obviously, Robin's not here tonight, but we'll have to have you defend your title on your next appearance. It's a shame too, because I've been like punching buckets of sand the entire time. It's a trivia contest, so I don't know why I'm doing such extreme workout for this, but I really want to avenge my loss. So that's just where I am right now, Chris. I just wanted to let you know that in case you need to prepare for our next bout.
All right, I'll make sure. I've been walking up all hills lately, trying to do my lifting. Don't know why I gotta do that either, but hey, if you don't mind, I'd like to throw another game out there that people should look forward to. It's coming out this month on the 12th, and it's Back for Blood. It's not horror, but it has to do with like an infection and zombies and a lot of gore, and it's a multiplayer game, something for those who might want to have a little more fun with their friends. But it's the spiritual successor of Left 4 Dead, and it's a 4-player co-op, 8-player versus. The makers is Turtle Rock Studios, and that's going to be on all the systems as well, and it's going to be $60. They've got a special edition for $90, and then the deluxe edition for $100, which I have no idea what any of that means.
How do you guys feel about those gimmick bundles where they're like, this edition of Saints Row costs $60,000, but it comes with a car? All right, the game's only $60, but the car is $59,000.
I hate it, especially right now, because all the stuff is digital. When back in the day when collector's editions were collector's editions, I know I sound old now, but you'd get like a statue or something cool, like some art book. Now it's just all digital shit, and it's like, man, you're still paying for that?
Yeah, it's true. Like Working Design, they used to do some really good special editions back in the like Sega CD, PlayStation 1 era. And they would bring a game over. It's like, hey, special edition. It's this RPG. It comes with like a cloth map, and it comes with like, art book, and it comes with the soundtrack, and it just come with just like all these like physical like things that you could actually display in your house, right? It's like, how do you display any of the stuff you get now, like on digital special editions? Most of the time, these special editions are like, oh yeah, you're paying extra for like a season pass or something, So, yeah.
I had a friend who had some sort of special edition of, I want to say it was like the original The Witcher. I honestly forget it. I think it was The Witcher, but he broke it up, so he sold the pieces off individually, and somehow ended up making more money that way. It was very strange because everything sold, and not to like just one guy, like. Everybody went like, no, I needed that specific piece exclusively.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
The collector's market is very strange.
It is. And to answer your question, David, you know how they get it nowadays? Loot Crate.
Is Loot Crate still a thing?
It is. It's not as popular as it used to be, but it's still a thing. I've gotten a lot of my shirts and like statues that I have in here from Loot Crate, so it was nice, but I don't know if I'd go back to it because they kind of suckered me into that $600 for a year thing when I thought it was going to be $60 a month. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, $60 a month, pay it all now.
Whoa, you gotta read the fine print on that one.
Right. So real quick, also another game that we're currently playing, which is 7 Days to Die. And that's a zombie survival game. That one's been pretty great. It's early access, and the reason I bring it up is just because this month they're coming out with a new major update, so Alpha 20, and it's gonna be cool. It updates a lot of the visuals. It updates terrain generation. It also adds a better gore to the zombies.
Oh, yeah.
So it really makes the experience more in depth that way. Because before it's like, if you were to chop an arm off, it just kind of pinched closed and stuff. But now you're actually going to see, pieces fall off, and you're going to see them stay on the floor. You'll be able to see, brain and all sorts of stuff now. And I don't know. It's just, it's like that's what I want from a zombie game. I want to blow its face off.
I keep thinking about the developer who has to just spend 60 plus hours a week for 6 to 9 months, just looking at autopsy photos and crime scene videos, and just going and just the kind of stress that takes on them. And maybe they made 80K that year. Maybe I don't know. Oh.
I think it takes a special type of twisted person to enjoy that kind of stuff, and they do because they're doing it. It's art direction, and it looks good.
Do we need all of that though? Like, can't we just have cartoon violence without it being like, more in Mortal Kombat, I cut his aorta and just watched him bleed out slowly.
I mean,
Mortal Kombat's fairly cartoony, as realistic as it looks. Just how ridiculous the fatalities are, kind of like, I think makes it not so violent. Well, I mean, it's violent, but you know what I mean. It's almost like cartoon violence. How ridiculous it is. Because they overdo it. They overdo like there's no way that much blood exists inside the body.
It's a bad example too, because the game, it'll give you that slow detail where it's showing you the fracture inside of the elbow, and it just shatters into a million pieces. But then Sonya Blade's still just throwing right hooks every time. No problem whatsoever. At least in like Bushido Blade, if you lost your arm, that's it. Your ass is fighting with one arm now.
Yep.
Right.
I miss Bushido Blade.
Yeah.
Same here.
That was a good game. Yeah, it's like people used to get pissed off because they die in one hit, and I'm like, that's what the game's about.
Yep.
Like, get good.
It would be incredible if you could get like a game in with like more than five strokes.
Right.
Me and my friends would play it all the time, and then just one day out of the blue, my guy had no idea what he was doing, but he somehow like lost his sword, blocked a chop, and then counteracted and just threw that guy off his level. We're like, what did you just do? He's like, I don't know, man. I'm just hitting buttons here.
Or it'd be good as when you disable their legs and they're just rolling around.
Yep.
Sailing their legs was fun. My favorite thing was throwing your sword at your opponent immediately. First strike. It's just an underthrow, every time it hits him right in the chest. And it would piss off my friend to the point where he would just throw down his controller and walk out of his room. Meanwhile, this is the guy who keeps like going for 2 in Madden because you don't know anything about football and you're doing circles for no reason. But
back in the day, that was fun.
Back in the day.
I think the only sports game I really liked was Mutant League Football.
God,
okay.
Yeah.
If
That's a Genesis game, right?
It's a Genesis game, and it's just like it's one of those games where like you could totally lose because too many people on your team died.
Genesis was weird like that, where I think pound for pound it had the better catalog, and I was a Nintendo guy. Anyways, guys, I think this is a good spot to stop here. You can find the Barely Functional Gamers on Twitch TV at BarelyFunctionalGamers. They do isolation once a month. Super big event, October 25th. Extreme isolation. They got some good stuff in store for you. You can also find them on Twitter at BFGS Podcast. Guys, is there anything else I'm forgetting here?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do some stuff around here. Coming up, Kush and Kai 58. That dropped October 13th. Me and Kai are back after a 2-month hiatus, and we talked Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke in Antoine Fuqua's Training Day. Fantastic movie. Kai's never seen it before. What do you think? You guys probably already know he liked it. Kick-Ass Movie Podcast, episode number 5, October 27th. Me and master director Len Kabazinski. We talk about Donnie Yen and the Kung Fu Killer. And then obviously Waffle Boxes every Wednesday. Friend of the family, Mike Fish. He comes in. We talk about everything and nothing at all. That's every Wednesday. It's the best part of Wednesday, and you're invited to be a part of it. For Chris and for David, I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the BosNet family.
I want waffles.